Hi guys, today I am going to show you 3 different ways to decorate your foam grips. And we don't call them by the name that the main manufacturer calls them because they don't like us doing this. Anyway, this one has already been removed from the base. What I do is I just take it off this base right here, and it can always just snap right on. So you just take it off, and there's different ways to decorate. You can do that. You can do multicolored glitter. You can do any color, clear white glitter or a blue, any color you want, and then do a water slide on top of that. So there's 3 different ways that I do it. One will be I use Mod Podge. And all you have to do with the Mod Podge is put it on. You can use a brush. You can use, I'm just going to use a little stick. You just want to get some on there. Sorry for my hand. Just get a coat of it on there. Just nice and thin coat. And you're going to want to, you know how Mod Podge will be streaky, so you don't want it to have a streak. So I'm just going to lay it on my silicone mat because nothing sticks to silicone. These little mats are great for this actual project because you just leave it on a flat board. I have it on a little cutting board so I can just move it and it's going to be laying flat and there's nothing that's going to bother it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some black holographic glitter, and on the one that I put the Mod Podge on, I'm just going to pour my glitter on. If I want to save glitter, I can put a paper under it, but I'm not worried about this. I'm just going to use very little glitter to cover my foam grip. With Mod Podge, it doesn't have to be on the silicone mat. I'm just doing it because of the epoxy. So there we go, it's covered. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to set this one aside. I did touch it a little, so I'm going to go ahead and go right here where I got a little bit of glitter off. I'm going to re-glitter. And you can go back if you feel like when you put your glitter on and you didn't put enough glitter, you can go back and do another coat. So here's a black one. They don't really, I guess I could have done the black glitter on this one, which this one will be, it's going to be black also, but I'm going to use clear school glue. This one, it's just a regular clear school glue. You can use white glue. Just pour some on there, smooth it out like I did the only one that's going to be more critical to have on this little silicone mat is going to be the epoxy, because the epoxy won't stick to silicone. Nothing sticks to the silicone little mats, so that's why I use these little mats. So I'm going to put another thing of black glitter on this one. This is a black fine holographic glitter. I'm just putting a coat. Just make sure you've got it all covered. This is really simple, okay? So once you got those, I'm just going to let those sit, and now I'm going to do the one that I'm going to do the epoxy on, which will be this one. This one's going to be white, it's not going to be black. So because I want to show you guys how they come like this, and these are just the blanks that you can get. If you have any questions, leave the message below. If you follow my channel, please follow and subscribe so you can so I can get more subscribers. That way I can start doing lives, because I have to have 1,000 subscribers in order to do my lives. These aren't that hard to take off. As long as you get one off, you're good. Then the rest will come off. So with epoxy, you have to have it flat. So that's why I'm going to lay it right here, and I'm not going to move it from there. Some people, if you don't have a silicone mat, you can just use the underside of a little cup like this, put double-sided tape on, so it won't be too much of a bulk on there, and then lay this on there flat, and then you can lay your little cup flat. But since I have this silicone mat, I'm not worried because I'm gonna let it fall on there, and then whatever falls off the bottom, I can break it off with a little utility knife. So here's my epoxy. I have it mixed. Now I'm gonna lay the epoxy over it, and it's just a little bit. The reason I have a lot of epoxy here is because I'm gonna use it on something else. So it's the same thing. You're just gonna lay your epoxy over this, over the top surface, and you want the whole surface covered. And it's okay if it drips because it's going to drip onto this little silicone. If you don't have silicone, like I said, just put it on a little cup and you're okay. So this one I'm going to use some white glitter. It's just a plain white glitter. If you're interested in some of my glitters, I do have a glitter page. You can send me a message and I will give you the link. I'm just pouring the glitter, the white glitter over. This one will be like this one right here. It's going to have a water slide over it. So that's done. Once you have, like this one, the glitter is already dried on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, once these dry, this is what you're going to do with your epoxy. You're going to put epoxy over the top of it. I'm going to move these little guys out of the way because these are done. I was just using them for examples. So I'm going to put, you put epoxy right over the top. And it's called doming effect. You just want it to dome on the top. And you try not to, you can do this once your glitter is dry. You don't want your glitter to move too much if it's loose. So you're just going to circle up over the top with your epoxy. Once your epoxy is set the way you feel like it looks, like it's nice and smooth over the top, like it's got a little tiny dome over it, you're good. So then you just let that sit. And you can either use a heat gun, which is like this one right here. This is a heat gun and it heats up. So you can just go over the top. Oops. You don't want to really blow it on these because these aren't done with the, oh geez, these aren't done with epoxy. You can put it on this one and pop the bubbles out. You can also use a torch. Just a plain little heat torch like this. This will get the bubbles out of the epoxy. You go over the top of it and blow your bubbles out. It's mostly important to blow the bubbles out on this. On these right here, it's okay because we can go over the top again. And you don't have to worry about the bubbles on these here. If you put epoxy on it, it's okay. This one, when I blew, you can see I blew some of the black, but that's okay. I can remove it after it's done because this one was done with Mod Podge anyway. So what you want to do is just go over it a couple of times with your little heat torch. And just let it, don't get too close because you can burn it. You saw a little bit of smoke, that's okay. But you don't want to burn your glitter. And now if you have epoxy that drips onto here, it's okay because this is silicone. Anyway, that's what I just wanted to show you guys real quick, a little video on how to do these. This one is gonna sit, it looks like I can put a little bit more glitter on here. You just let them sit flat, especially the epoxied one. They need to sit flat so they can so the epoxy will run smooth. You don't want the epoxy to fall off. So what you want to do is just let it sit flat. This would just move. I can get it off my bench because it's on a little wooden thing, and you want to make sure that it's sitting flat and even for this epoxy so it doesn't slide off the top. But that's all I need to do for this. I'm going to let this one dry. This one's ready. These will get epoxy just like this one did over the top. Thanks for watching.